Welcome to our live stream of high school sports. Please note that this broadcast is produced by an independent team of sports enthusiasts, and the views, opinions, and commentary expressed are solely those of the commentators and not representative of the schools, teams, or athletes featured. While we strive for accuracy, occasional errors or misstatements may occur. This stream is intended for entertainment and educational purposes only. Thank you for joining us and enjoy the show.
Yeah, come on, let's go. Hey, you ain't never seen nothing like this. Ain't no telling how it might get. It's the hypest right here. High school sports at its finest. So many highlights, you have to rewind it. Hey, Stream City, let me just remind ya. The heart of a lion, a team full of fighters. So many stars on the field, it'll blind ya. They're giving everything they got till the time's up. Yeah, legends in the making. History is made. We just getting started. You ain't seen a thing. YSN, gotta know the name. They gon' bring the flames. They gon' do their thing. Take it to another level. Don't hold back. High school, got a passion and we show that. Got the drive and you know they got the heart. Number one spot for your high school sports. Let's go for the win.
Hey, welcome in to the Joe Dickey Electric Scoreboard. What a week in Game 4. We had some fantastic games. I know some of our guys are going to be joining us, but let's jump right in, Anthony. Get to this scoreboard. I'll alternate lines with you, and we'll show them. How about this one? Poland led 10-7 at the break, outscored 28-3 in the second half. So big win for Canfield. The traveling trophy heading back to Cardinal Country. Brookfield, a winner over champion, 41-9. Fantastic game. Perry losing 2 in a row, but Chardon, that is a big, big win for their program, 17-13. And West G pitching the shutout over Conneaut.
Yeah, and real quick before we go on, that 2 losses in a row for Perry, yes, but 2 very, very prestigious football programs. So I think the Pirates are okay. When we go down the line, we go Edgewood got the win over Lutheran West, and that was a 34-0 win for Edgewood. East Liverpool and Beaver Local, the old-style rivalry, red versus blue. It's Beaver Local, 21-12, getting the win. Crestview comes back on Liberty. They're down 21-14. We'll talk more about this game, how it developed, but they get the win 28-21 over Liberty in a big MVAC battle. In St. John, they fall by 7 to Crestline, 28-21.
And over in Western PA, Mohawk had the lead in the fourth quarter, but Elwood City comes back to beat them 21-15. Garrettsville Garfield goes into Leavittsburg and beats LeBray 41-6. All Grand Valley over Wyndham 68-0. And how about Hubbard? They remain perfect with a 51-7 win over Niles at Bo Ryan Stadium.
Hubbard is that under-the-radar team in the 88. A lot of people are talking about Poland, talking about Girard, obviously talking about South Range. Hubbard's sitting there raising their hand like, we're undefeated too.
We're here.
We're here. As we go down. How about Campbell getting it to Lowville? That's their first win of the season, 30-15. The Red Devils double up the Rockets. East Palestine still undefeated. 50-34. They get the win in a very high-scoring game against Lisbon. That one, our scoreboard says fourth quarter, but that has gone final since. Jefferson got behind really early. They tried to get back in this game, but the way they started this game against Orange, there was just no coming back from. Orange gets the win. Final score, 47-28. Orange over Jefferson. Middle Ridge ends Jackson Milton's unbeaten season 27-0. They beat the Blue Jays.
I'm not sure too many people had 100 points in their bingo card for Pie Valley and Matthews, but that's exactly what you got. If you liked offense, that was the place to be tonight up in Vienna. 65-35 as Pie Valley comes away with the win. Southeast jumped out to a big lead. They cruised 53-28 over Newton Falls. And then in a fantastic game that you were able to catch right here on YSN, Austin Town Fitch 17-14, and they had to rally to win that game. So big win for the Falcons.
Late interception.
Yeah.
Is what sealed the deal for Fitch on the defense.
Yeah, and how about Salem? 2 in a row. They go to Canton, and they did a number on Canton Central Catholic, 49-20.
Yeah, Kansas Central Catholic, a perennial power, is having a not so fun year for the Crusaders, and Salem took full advantage on the road. Talking about taking advantage on the road, United goes on the road at the Firestone Park, and they get the win over Columbiana 27-7. An interesting field on Military Appreciation Night for Columbiana. Struthers gets beat by Girard, and shocker, Girard had a lot of big plays, a lot of explosiveness for the Indians. 48-12, final score there. Wellsville and Southern played a pretty good game. Southern able to outlast the Tigers, 41-20, final score there. And then South Range all over Lakeview in their first NE8 game of the season, 46-0, the final score there. Raiders.
Valley Christian opened up their conference play at Latonia, and good win for the VC as they get that one 41-14. West Branch goes up to Rayan Stadium. Cheney hung with them for quite a while, but I'll tell you what, West Branch just methodically puts 27 up on the board. And this one, the Battle of the Blue Devils, it's going to McDonald. They get the better of Western Reserve 48-20. And Hoban, they seem to be clicking right now.
They were like, hey, we don't have to, we were playing someone close. Yeah. We got this. No one's coming from Maryland or Michigan anymore.
Yeah, absolutely. Big win for them.
And then you go on to Geneva falling to Hawken. 49-48, the final score. What a game there.
I don't know if you heard what Mike Swinehart was telling us, but he said that Hawken was down 48-41, score late, like with 10 seconds left, ran the same exact play for the 2-point conversion and get it. That is a brutal loss for Geneva.
When you know it works.
Yeah.
It works.
Yeah, until you stop it, we're going to run
That's like
it.
Having the tush push. Yeah. It's like, hey, you know it's coming. Yeah. We know it's coming. It doesn't matter.
Real tough blow for Cardinal Mooney. They go to overtime, and they lose to the Big Red down in Steubenville, 27-24. And how about Boardman? 2 wins in a row. They knock Maple Heights out of the ranks of the unbeaten. Yeah, 36-20. Big win for the Spartans.
Undefeated Maple Heights team. That's a big win.
And then Beaver and Hopewell. That game is still in the fourth quarter, tied at 44.
We will keep an update on that, and I'm sure by the end of the show we'll have a final score from Beaver and Hopewell. We go on to Howland and Carrollton, a defensive game. Howland gets the win. Howland takes the loss, I should say, 16-10. The final score there.
It's just a microphone.
Thank you, DJ. Lakeside falls to Harvey. 61-19, the final score. Louisville beats Burlington. Win our final score of the night, 45-7, the final there.
So overall, just some great games around the Valley for Week 4. Conference opening games. We saw some teams flex their muscles. We saw some teams in some good games. And I'll be honest, I was thrilled to sit here and watch. We had 25 of them on our air. We were supposed to have 26, had some technical difficulties out of the Perry game. We apologize for that if you were tuning in for it, but that was a situation that was beyond our control.
Yeah, and when you think about, like, last week we had a really exciting week because we had a couple of overtime finishes, triple overtime and board machine. Obviously, we're not going to have that kind of thing every week, but I think this week the importance of Week 4 made it just as fun because you have these games, especially like Crestview Liberty, when you know how much is on the line in that game this early in the season.
Yeah.
The way those two teams are playing, you kind of wonder who else is going to beat them in league because now Liberty has to kind of root for someone to come and beat Crestview if they're going to, square up the tie in the MVAC. You're watching Crestview right now, and you're like, who else is there? Who else is a threat?
Yeah.
So it's a very important game here in Week 4. A lot of other important conference games, and conference play has officially started. We're starting to see those standings really be affected now.
Oh, yeah, and it just gets magnified as it goes on. Like, it's hard to believe that next week we hit the halfway point. We'll be at Week 5. So once that hits, you're just like, now you get to the backside of it, and you're like, ooh, you're 2-0, but you're 1-1. You really need somewhere to come in. And you know what's interesting? Through 4 weeks, what hasn't played a factor yet is weather.
Right.
We've played good weather for 4 weeks.
Wood's knock on.
Yeah. But it's going to happen. Yes. We know we're going to have that 1 week where it is a factor.
Yes.
Who holds on to the ball, who doesn't. who makes a big play out of nowhere, and I know Ty will be calling in here shortly, but you want to talk about a big play and a nail biter against undefeated Riverside tonight. Fitch comes up defensively with a big interception late.
Yeah, that was a big play. And then you talk about other big plays. I mean, I know we're going to also talk to Logan about the Liberty Crestview game, but Crestview scores to tie it, and then they decide they're going to pooch punt and pooch kick it.
Yeah,
and they recover it in Liberty territory, and because of that, they get ball in Liberty territory. They go down and they score again to take the lead. That takes some guts. Say we're going to pooch kick it here with a tie game. And then obviously a little mental mistake by Liberty to not get on that ball.
Yeah.
And Crestview jumps on it. They go down, they get the win.
Well, and then I just, you look around, like teams took care of business, knowing like they looked at it on paper saying we should win this game. Let's take care. Things like that happened tonight. And I look, that Mooney game, whew, baby, like that's a tough place to go play down on.
That is why everyone says in this format of overtime, we're going to talk to college or high school, it is important to get the ball second.
Yeah.
You want to be the team that knows what they have to get. Steubenville knew that they needed at least a field goal to tie it and touchdown would win it. So when it was 4th and 1 at like the 15, it was an easy decision. Steubenville said, hey, we're going to go for it. We need a touchdown to win this game.
Yeah, they rolled the dice. And like last week when – I forget who it was, rolled the dice. What was Cheney against Foreman? They rolled the dice to go for the win, and it didn't work out. Steubenville rolls the dice tonight, and they got exactly what they needed.
Yep. And that's why, getting this to field goal in the first possession. Of course, you want to get a score, but, a field goal is the one that you're a little bit nervous because you're like, man, got to keep them out of the end zone now.
Yeah, you have to, and it's a tough, hard lesson to learn, but it'll help Mooney in the end. They'll be better for it.
By the way, Mike, we have Ty Bartell in the studio.
Whoa.
He just walked up over here and he's hanging out there. So
yeah,
I'm sure eventually you'll be able to talk to him face to face a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. Well, we can bring him in. I mean, there's a chair. He can join us.
Yeah.
So, but we're hoping Anthony Malone gives us a call on that Canfield Poland game.
Yes.
That was a whale of a game. And for Poland, I know that second half isn't what they expected. Like, they had a great first half. So
Ty's here. I'm going to trade places with him, and then I'll come back when you guys are done.
Okay. We'll bring in Mr. Bartell, my partner in crime, once we hit the postseason.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
You'll have to bring that mic up again, buddy.
We'll get it. We got everything covered here. Ty was at the Fitch game.
I make everything difficult, guys.
No, we're all good. We're all good. You're all good.
We forgive you, Anthony.
All right, let me get myself situated here.
All right.
What's up, man? What's up? How we doing?
I'm good. How are you? You saw a whale of a game. Big game tie for a reason.
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of a defensive slugfest tonight too, and I mean, defenses were really coming up big at the end of a lot of long drives both ways too, and kind of sped the game up in times and spots tonight. I was really impressed with how the Falcons kind of responded in the first half too. Couple of big strikes that you saw there from Riverside that kind of scored both their touchdowns, and shout out their running back too, because he's a stud talent. But I like the way the Falcons kind of handled the fact that they had some of those red zone miscues, that big interception too towards the end of the first half. It kind of set them behind the chains, but they were able to take that first half deficit and turn it into something going into the second half and protect that lead once they got it in the second half.
Well, and that was the thing, like, there looked like there was no panic on this. And that Riverside's a good football team. I mean, they won their first 3 games for a reason. And I just like the way Fitch kind of came out the second half, and they kind of, to me, look, just methodically started taking control of the line. And then towards the end of the game, I think Riverside was a little tired. I think they were able to get through and get some pressures on the quarterback that they weren't able to in the first half.
Yeah, I think so too, and I think they did a really good job of containing those big runs the Falcons defense did in that second half. And yeah, you know what? For the Falcons being as kind of calm, cool, and collected as they were throughout this game, it was kind of impressive because I mean, you lose someone like DeAndre Richard for the rest of the game early in that first half too, and that could be a detriment to a lot of teams. But time and time again, you've seen him before too, Mike. The Junie Higgs is just he's a Swiss Army knife. He's ultimate reliability. Wherever you need him, he can deliver, and he delivered again tonight. Big time on the running back side of things. He's versatile. He could go out and catch a pass as well too. And shout out to Vanzo Tate, because I was calling his name a ton too on the defensive end, defensive back. He had the big interception that helped seal it too, but he had some pat downs too, and he was really keeping up with the Riverside receivers tonight and limiting that passing game all night long.
Well, and it's really good for Fitch. I mean, you lose week 1, and now all of a sudden you've built some momentum. 3 straight wins. And in those 3 wins, your defense has only given up 17 points.
Yeah, and you know what? I think it was good for them to have a close game as well, too. You know, you had a couple of games where it was pretty well decided after the first half. They needed one that they could be tested but come out on top. And I think this is a big game, a character kind of building game for Coach Parker's Falcons and for a lot of these guys, too, to just, you know, build that belief. Like, you think you could win close games too, but it's another thing to go out there and actually do it. And to showcase that they can do it, they can get that score in the second half to put them up. And also for their defense to say, okay, we got to lead and we got to protect it. They pitched a second half shutout too. And that was impressive from them tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. And here's the thing, like looking down at their schedule, yes, they have Akron Bookville next week. Now it depends. Do you pick up a game, you know, the following week because you're not going to play that Ursuline game?
Yeah, I know. From what I've heard, they're trying to. They're going to be looking to try to fill it. But I mean, you know, as you get
tough,
yeah, when you get into conference scheduling too, it gets really tough too because these teams can't forego their conference games. They have to play it, and a lot of these teams are in conference plays. They're treating it like a bye. If something comes across where they have an opportunity to play, obviously for their seniors, they're going to want to. But yeah, they're going to treat it as a bye right now going forward. So. I mean, either way, I feel like you take it. You want to get that game for your seniors, but, you know, it's never a bad thing to get some rest, too, especially right in the middle of the season.
Well, not only that, because when they hit the bottom end of their schedule, Perry, Erie McDowell, who's always played them tough, doesn't matter that they're struggling this year, but then you have Boardman and Harding. Fitch and Boardman, we know that's just a rivalry game. Throw out the records. And for whatever reason, Harding and Fitch just play phenomenal games. So you have all that on the horizon. It's a good thing you're stacking some W's right now.
Absolutely. And I mean, you need these for confidence builders as you move on into those bigger games of the season. We know what the Falcons kind of MO is, and we know what Coach Parker's MO is. He wants to keep on taking that next step with this Falcons team too. So yeah, stacking these wins is going to be super important in terms of postseason seeding too. Once we get past week 5, we know we're talking a lot about that second half of the season too. And when you break down Division II, you know it's always a gauntlet going through Division II football too. So where you're seated is going to matter a ton too. So these wins are going to be big time too, and just getting those points from Joe Hytel.
So I know we're going to see a good report for you on the web. Who'd you talk to after the game? What did some of them guys have to say? What did Coach Parker have to say about tonight?
Coach Parker I think he was just really impressed too, considering the miscues that they had in the red zone. He was just impressed with how the defense came out and they competed. He's been really impressed with the defensive back unit too, because he talked about challenging these guys too, because they gave up, I think he said 20 passing touchdowns to the 5 rushing touchdowns defensively last year. So he knew there was a hole that needed to be filled. He knew there was a correction that needed to be made. And guys like Devanzo Tate, which is one of the guys I interviewed tonight, he came up big throughout the game tonight, but he's come up big all season, and he's kind of taken the bull by horns in the defensive back unit and says, okay, guys, kind of follow me. And Junie Higgs was the other one I interviewed tonight, because you talk about a young man that this isn't the first time that there's been a situation like this where he had to step up. I mean, he's a guy that could play running back. You could ask him to play receiver. He's thrown the ball as a quarterback a couple of times, takes it out of a Wildcat. Coach Parker talked about him as one of the most reliable players he's ever been able to coach. And I mean, I feel like that's one of the best kind of compliments you can receive from your coach too, is just being that old reliable guy that you can always be counted on too. And I feel like Junie Higgs is one of those guys. He had a great game, and I think he deserves some love too. So I'm glad I was able to get kind of his perspective on tonight's game and how big this win was, hanging the first loss on Riverside's head.
I think the thing I love about Junie Higgs, whatever coach asks, he does. I'll bet you if coach said, I need you to come and play guard, pull, and knock that defensive end back a yard, he'd do it.
He would absolutely do it. And he's fearless of taking contact too. When he has the ball, he knows he's going to take these big hits. The one touchdown he had that put the Falcons on top was a proof of that. It was a 1 yard, 4th and goal situation. And he knew he was going into a pile too. And it came up a little bit slow, but I mean, he always pops back up, man, eventually. And you can never underestimate this kid's toughness. He is one tough kid, senior, and he's really leading the way too. He's a good kid too to kind of follow his lead on this team. He's a real great leader for them.
Yeah, definitely a fun guy to watch. We appreciate it, man. We're glad you're in here. Glad you stopped into the mothership.
Yeah, I was just a stone's throw away out in Austin Town tonight, so I felt like I had to come by and see everybody in person too, and check out the beautiful athletic studio as it is.
Yeah, our sponsor of the Audible Call. Yeah, we'll throw that in there. But
so, thank you so much though for your time. My great show as always tonight.
Oh, we appreciate it. I'm sure Anthony's waiting in the wings to get back in there. Got some other guys they're going to be popping in talking about their games. Like I said earlier, we had some great games across the YSN network tonight. Canfield Poland lived up to its billing until late. Liberty Crestview was absolute dynamite. And how about East Palestine, folks? They are rolling along. 43-26, they come up with a big win tonight. So that's always good. I think, Anthony, was there any surprises that caught you tonight?
When I'm looking, I want to look back at the scoreboard to get the refresher.
Okay.
But I feel like there was one that we were like, whoa, wasn't there one game where we were, well, I think Campbell getting the win was, especially a 15-point win, was big. But I feel like there was one game where we were saying, whoa, and now I can't remember what it was.
Well, I know we said whoa on a few of the lopsided ones. I think the one that kind of stunned me, I know Struthers has lost a lot last year.
Oh, you know what? It was Orange beating Jefferson.
Yes.
Orange was winless.
Yeah.
And Jefferson came in 2-1. And the way Orange started that game, we were like, what is going on? We're 28-0 before you could blink.
I remember a couple of guys looked at me and said, don't worry, Jefferson's going to mount a comeback. And I was like, I don't know. It looked like it really, really snowballed on Jefferson early, and it was just too big of a hole to climb out of.
Yeah, I think they got a little bit too excited watching the Bills game and thought comebacks were just really easy to do.
They're not.
They're not. Shock. Yeah, it's a headline. Yeah. They're really not.
I love it. Is this the fifth show?
Yes, absolutely.
For right now it was, but we got other scores. Somebody asked for the Wellsville score. Well, yeah, we'll give it to you. Wellsville falling tonight to Southern Local 41-20. Final score in that one.
And if you're out there and maybe we don't see your comment or you're wondering what scores are, you can find our scoreboard on our website, brought to you by our good friends over at Brunette Pool, Spas, and Hot Tubs. And it can be found at ysnlive.com/scores.
All right. Cool. All right. So we got Logan joining us.
Yeah. And he was from that great Liberty Crestview game, calling the game with McAfee.
There you go. Welcome in, my friend.
What's up, guys? How's it going?
You had a well of a ball game to see.
I mean, it was absolutely insane. We went into it. I thought it was going to be an offensive shootout. Greg thought it was going to be a defensive shootout. The first half was all defense. In Coach Prologo's defense, they did an absolutely fantastic job. Holding that Crestview offense to 7 points in the first half was impressive. But Coach Perry went into the second half, and like he said in his post-game interview, they didn't really make any adjustments. They just cleaned up the little mistakes. They had a lot of unnecessary penalties, and you could tell that Crestview team really wasn't clicking how it was at the beginning of the season in that first half. But in the second half, man, Crestview was scary to see.
Logan, you said it, penalties and a little bit of mental mistakes really cost Liberty. You know, the Pooch kick also, that was one that they're the play that they're going to really want to get back to give Crestview the ball back after they tied the game. Talk about what you said. Do you think Crestview was just like a little bit more of the cleaner team tonight as far as discipline and mental miscues go?
Yeah, 100%. Liberty, despite having so many unnecessary penalties, and like something me and Greg talked about, was Coach Prologo is a coach that preaches the mindset of you have to control the controllables, and every penalty they had could have been controlled. It was a lot of offsides, false starts, holdings, face mask, unnecessary. It was a little bit of everything on the penalty side. But I think Coach Perry's Rebel team, they were very well disciplined. They might have had, I think, 3 penalty flags on them the whole night, compared to Crestview, or Liberty was in double digits, I think. It was in the first half, there were, I think, 70 yards of penalties alone in just the first quarter, I mean. But I think that those penalties are what really hurt the Leopard team tonight.
Well, and that's the one thing. You can clean that up. You can fix that. The big thing I look back at that game is Crestview scores late to tie it and then a pooch kick. How do you not cover that? Like, I'm sure Coach Perlogo is not going to sleep tonight reviewing that play in his head.
And that's what me and Greg were talking about. Like, Coach Perlogo is a fantastic coach. He's a legendary coach. But tonight, I think the momentum really started to shift is when they got a big stop on defense. The Rebels drove down the field, scored, tied the game up at 21 apiece. And then I didn't expect it. I thought Coach Perry was just going to kick it off and put the game in his defense's hands, but he caught everyone in that stadium off guard, me and Greg off guard, and especially that Liberty special teams off guard with that pooch kick. And when Crestview recovered that's when you kind of felt the momentum shift a lot in their direction. I think that right there is what won them the game tonight.
Well, not only that, you put your defense right back out on the field. They've just given up the tying score. Momentum is big, and with kids sometimes you can't come back from that, and it's a tough lesson to learn, but down the road it may pay off for Liberty.
Yeah. And I think what really tired out that Liberty defense was the constant run, like just the quarterback run, the running back run by Mikey. I think it was Mikey Proctor, and then Jake Noling tonight, the quarterback. Absolutely amazing quarterback running by him tonight. Up the middle, almost every other play was getting them, if not 7 yards, it was getting them a first down when they needed it.
I know this might be a hot take, and now you've had the chance to see Jake Noling live yourself. Look at these numbers that he's put up in the first 4 weeks. He might be in that postseason awards conversation that we do every year for YSN. I mean, he is having a excellent season under center for Crestview.
100%. Like, he's one of the best quarterbacks in this area for sure. And another quarterback that I know Greg's excited to see is Gerard's quarterback next week. Those are two guys that are having really great seasons. And like Coach Perry said, that this team has worked hard all season long to get to a 4-0 start, but there's no chance this team's not slowing down anytime soon. And Crestview is going to be – they're going to be the team to beat this year.
So Crestview gets to win. They move that top of that MVAC list. Liberty falls to 0-1 in the MVAC. A lot of conference play left to go, but talk about just how big of a step that is. I mean, you'd hate to put so much weight on the first game of conference play, but those two teams seem like the best two teams in the conference. You got to feel like that's a big, big win for Crestview.
It definitely is. And like I told Greg during the game, it's like, win or lose this game, these are both really good football teams. And if they meet again, it's going to be Liberty could easily win that game if they just clean up their penalties. And this game could have gone either way tonight. They're both very, very talented teams. And credit to Coach Perlogo, his staff, his team. They did an excellent job tonight. But Coach Perry and his staff had the Rebels ready to come out and play tonight.
Both these teams got a lot of big games ahead of them over the next 6 weeks.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's no joke. That's no joke.
Well, hey, Logan, thanks for coming on, man. We appreciate it. We're glad you got a great game. I'm sure we'll be talking to you down the road.
Oh, for sure. Good seeing you guys.
All right. Have a good night. Summed it up well. I mean, he told us exactly what went down, and that momentum swing, 100%, very, very big at that point, and that's a game changer. And tonight it was, and it worked in the Rebels' way. But boy, you look so. In that conference, Brookfield opened with a win.
Yeah.
Crestview opened with a win.
Garfield
opened with a win.
Camel opened with a win.
Camel opens with a win.
No, I'm sorry, that was against Lobo.
Wait,
that's an inter MVAC game. I'm sorry. That's not an MVAC grade tier game.
But we go there and you're just like, wow. So some stuff was happening right, and it's just good stuff.
While we were talking to Logan Beaver, pulled in the final score. They win 51-50 over Hopewell.
What a
Hopewell
shootout.
went for 2 and did not get it.
Wow.
So they went for the win, just like Caney did last week, and it did not work out. The Bobcats get that last final stop, and they are in it.
All right. Joining us now, the boss man, American hero.
From parts
DK
unknown.
Yoakley. Yeah, parts unknown. Hey, another conference opener, another conference win, business as usual in Raiderland.
Yeah, we weren't really sure what was going to happen. I mean, we looked at this from a couple different points of view, and when you're talking about the NE8, and really here in week 4, as you guys have kind of alluded to, anything could happen. And hey, I'm here to tell you the Raiders are back. There was a lot of people that were poo-pooing the Raiders after that first week loss, and you look at South Range, what they're able to do, and they're doing it at a very young age. Nick Toy, a sophomore quarterback, outstanding again tonight. Tommy Titus with a touchdown. Tommy Valentine with 2 touchdowns for South Range. I think Jimmy Hagan got in there as well for the Raiders. Drew Starkey showed up and showed out in the early going. The Raiders were very balanced tonight, and I think that's going to be the key for them moving forward. If they can be balanced on their offense, teams are going to have a lot of trouble with them because you're going to have to pick your poison. And if you try to shut down the run, Nick Toy's going to beat you through the air with some of the weapons that he has. And if you try to shut down what he's doing, then you got a stable of backs. You got some ponies in that barn that can really get the job done.
Yeah, when you think about it, Lakeview's defense came into this game off of a very good week, and it seemed like it might have been a daunting task for the Raiders. What did you see that they took such advantage of in this game offensively? They got off to a really quick start.
Yeah, I liked what Lakeview tried to do early going. Their power eye. They've got some good backs. They were missing their main running back tonight, Mr. Newman, and you know what? I think that was the difference in this one. And you look at the scoreboard, and you go, wait a minute. But when you're missing key pieces in week 4 in conference play, and you've got to have your full gauntlet against South Range, because as Sam Bellino said tonight, the Raiders are still NE8 champs until somebody takes the belt from them. And, obviously, we had a whale of a game over in Poland tonight. Gerard's looking great, but the Raiders still have that championship title. And it's kind of like WWE. You're going to have to go in and beat them before you can start claiming victory. Hit your mic. Somebody muted you.
How'd you mute me?
There you go.
Anthony muted me. Well, hey, the bullseye gets bigger and bigger and bigger around them with each win in this conference. And to think, such a young team, and you look back to week 1, and like you said, people were doubters. Well, that team they played week 1 was undefeated going into tonight. So I look at things and I'm like, just slowly taking care of business, building some momentum. They'll be right where they need to be. They'll be just fine. And that defense, very impressive. Yeah,
and if I heard right, Lake, one of their key players is out for the year, broke his leg or something. So it's going to be interesting. That Lake game, I think there's a lot of people, because we saw what Lake did to Boardman as well. Lake's a great team, and I think that there's a lot of people that really jumped to some conclusions about South Range this year. And we talked about it. Usually your sophomore year, you're playing special teams, right? In most cases. And they've got a lot of sophomores that are playing starting positions across the board, both sides. So this isn't the same 2-platoon South Range team that we're used to seeing. They're kind of low on numbers this year, relatively speaking. I know there's other schools and districts that we talk about all the time that are really low on numbers. But for a South Range team, you're looking at 45, 47, something like that. So you're used to seeing 60 hard hats on that side of the field, all of the same, height. So all 6 feet tall and 190 pounds.
So true.
I think it was more hopeful thinking when they lost game 1 and people were saying, well, South Range might not be the same South Range anymore. I think there was a little bit of hope in some people's eyes. And now,
well, nobody knows that better than you, man. It's the same way
Exactly.
people treat the Chiefs, right? Everybody was a Chiefs fan and wanted the Chiefs to win the Super Bowl. Now they want to puke every time they see Patrick Mahomes. So I think people see the good teams the same way. They get sick of them. They want another team to step up. It's unfortunate because these are kids, after all. And listen, I'm usually the mouthpiece for South Range when it comes to this, and talk the most smack. I as much as I love South Range, they're probably like, all right, DJ, shut up. Like, enough. That's not how they handle business. But I mean, honestly, I'm proud to see what they're able to accomplish, because this is a team that, again, a lot of people, and they're not going to sit there and say, we love the underdog card, or I mean, they don't even pay attention. They don't even watch the shows that we have, because they're all about the business in their own locker room. This was a business trip tonight for South Range, and mission accomplished. But hey, how about my Bulldogs?
How about them Bulldogs?
How about my Bulldogs? 4-0, baby, ranked in the state. How about it?
And impressively tonight too. That's an arch rivalry win.
Ashton Hinchcliffe's a dog, man, and I haven't got to look at the stats yet. Coach Dempster just sent him over. I'm chomping at the bit to check him out, but to get a win like that against a rival, and again, a lot of people thought that East Palestine would be licking their wounds, at least for this year. And Clark Rutledge, boy, oh boy, another sophomore, outstanding across the board. I'm so proud of that young man, what he's been able to do and endure. And he's worked really hard to get where he is. So I'm proud of the Bulldogs here tonight, and I mean, what a week 4, guys. I mean, I was just looking at some of the scores, if the stat of the night is someone called out Michael McKenzie for being a homer for East Liverpool. Hey, I don't know what world we're living in right now, but Michael McKenzie being a homer for the Potters when his dad's a coach for Beaver Local, that is a compliment if I've ever heard one.
We may have to check to see if he's been kicked outside in a sleeping bag for the evening.
I love it, man. I mean, and that's just a testament to McNuggies, because Michael came to us at like 13 years old, and he had been to broadcasting camps and things like that. But listening to him on the way home from Lakeview tonight, it's hearing how he's just progressed year in and year out. And he's at Waynesburg, which is a rival school to my Westminster Titans. But I will tell you that old buddy's doing a great job. He's getting better and better. He's getting great reps at Waynesburg, and for him to keep coming back during the weekends to do what he loves and do it for who he loves, both YSN and old Papa Bear, Mike McKenzie. What a joy it is, and I think across the board we had a great night. I got to listen for the first time in a while live. Eric Hughes had a great night on the network. Greg McAfee and Logan, who you just talked to. Those guys were awesome during the Liberty game and Crestview game. I'm just so proud across the board. And you guys killed it. I got to watch the audible call on the way home. It was great. So super thankful for the support that we get in every capacity that we get it, from our sponsors like Joe Dickey Electric, all the way through guys that show up. Radar and Scotty. Radar was touting his Canadian flag now, and Scotty was happy. So Eric Oates as well back here, and Brian, angry Brian, was less angry tonight. But you guys killed it tonight across the board. Another big night for us on YSN. We had the best games in town. We had the only games in town because those other guys were over in PA. God bless their souls for giving us the baton to have all these great games on a week 4. So thank you guys. Appreciate you.
All right, man. We will talk soon. Well, we're going to bring Dom Pearson in, kind of stay with that NE8 flash at the moment. And boy, Dom, you had one heck of a showing out at Arrowhead Stadium tonight, because the Indians, oh boy, did they lay one on Struthers.
I got nothing much to say about Girard, man. That was my first look at Girard this year, and wow, this is a team right here. AJ Pearson, hats off to this man. This kid is a tremendous quarterback. Threw a 90-yard touchdown pass to a wide open man. It's a great atmosphere over in Girard as well. Great atmosphere. I never got to see anything like that. And it was, even for like a home game for the first opening conference game, it was a great game for the Girard Indians for sure. AJ Pearson he's a heck of a quarterback. I cannot wait to see what he does in Girard for the rest of his time.
Oh, man, I hope you have some stuff to say about Gerard because you're on here. We got to fill some time, buddy. But in all seriousness, when you look at this team, I mean, everyone wants to talk about how electric their offense is. Their defense also came to play tonight. Just a well-rounded team. What is so special right now in this Gerard locker room, you think?
In my opinion, they are very disciplined. This is a very disciplined team from head coach Pat Pearson. He has his team so disciplined, and there wasn't a lot of penalty. There was a little bit of penalties out there tonight. A little bit of unsportsmanlike personal fouls on Girard and Struthers tonight. Got a little chippy here and there, but if you take out the unsportsmanlike and the personal fouls, Girard didn't have a lot of penalties tonight. So this Girard team this year, a very young, talented team. They are very disciplined, and they can make a run for the NEA title this year. They got a great game coming up next week against Garview, who's going to be a very tough team. They came in undefeated this week. We don't know a lot about them or anything like that, but they got a very tough game. They got a very tough team next week, so it's going to be very interesting for them. But it's going to be very interesting in the Northeast State Conference to see what's going to happen this year.
Well, I'll throw some numbers out at you. So through 4 weeks, they've scored 214 points. Yeah. They're averaging over 53 points a game. And defensively, they only gave up 12 tonight. So when you get that lethal combination, that makes things a lot of fun to watch a Girard Indians game.
Let's also be honest, Mike. They could probably score a lot more if they wanted to. Obviously, they take their foot off the gas pedal when they have the game in hand.
Well, so, and that's a compliment to their coach.
Yeah, but if it was just
that's a big compliment. You could have put up some more points here and there, but for head coach Pat Pearson to let the young bucks go in and take over and let them control the game, that was very classy. Very classy.
If it was just like, hey, let's see how many points we can score, it'd be a lot more than 214 in 3 games. We all know that, the way they've been playing.
Amen to that.
Well, and it's a good thing they are stacking wins right now because the schedule gets a lot tougher coming up. I mean, you still have Poland, South Range, Hubbard, Lakeview, Niles, and Garaway next week. Garaway's undefeated. They won tonight, so they're –
and I think they're state ranked.
Yeah.
In Division 5.
Yeah, and the first 4 games, like I talked to head coach Pat Pearson, he said last week was a very good test for them as well. This week he said it was going to be a very good test for them as well. Not to knock on Struthers as well. It's a very, very good team by head coach Pascala. He's got a lot of great kids over on that Struthers sideline, and his I believe son Anthony Pascala, quarterback. He very talented kid, and that's one kid that did catch my eye late in the game, and his name is Landon Fox. He's a freshman for the Struthers football team. He is a very talented quarterback. He's a very dual threat quarterback. Great on the feet, great on the run, very talented. He is going to be a very great quarterback for the Struthers Wildcats, Landon Fox.
All right, Dom, we want to thank you for coming on. You had a heck of a call tonight, and we know that you'll be right back at it next week. Do you know where you're at next week? Where are you going to be?
I do not know to be exact, but I will find out here shortly.
Well, wherever you are, it'll be a great call. We appreciate your time.
Thank you very much. Appreciate you guys.
All right, the next guy we're bringing in, I enjoyed Greg McAfee. We lobbied for you. It worked. You got that Liberty Crestview game this week. DJ's coming in to support us, too. I like this. Go Orange. Go Orange.
They got it, baby.
See, we like to have a little bit of fun here.
They got it for sure.
All right, Greg, we heard from your partner that was at the game.
Yeah.
What do you think about this game? Because I'll tell you what, I had a really good feeling about Liberty, and then all of a sudden, Crestview said, not so fast.
Mike, you mentioned it already, but I came on this show last week, and I was like, I'm going to be jealous of whoever gets to call that game next week because that's going to be a game. And boy, did it live up to expectations. I mean, I was talking to DJ earlier in the week as well, and I kind of reiterated my interest in calling the game on Monday, on Overreaction Monday. And man, it lived up to the hype. A back and forth battle. I think the one thing that I really enjoyed most of the game, I mean, I think Logan mentioned it a little bit earlier. Early on, it was a defensive battle. I mean, these two teams are going back and forth. Liberty was able to score on their first offensive drive, but then it kind of went silent for a little bit, and both teams came up with pretty big stops. And I was really interested in how both teams were kind of adjust as the game went on. Early on in the game, it was Mikey Proctor. They were pounding the ball in the middle of the line of scrimmage. He was kind of getting off the edge. And then in the second half, we started to see Jake Noling take over like he has through the first 3 weeks of the season. He wasn't handing it off to Mikey. He was pulling it on those option runs, QB keepers up the middle. And it really changed the whole scope of the game for the Rebels. They were able to, I felt like they kind of fell into a little bit more of an offensive rhythm. You saw, I think Jake Noling only had 2 completions, maybe 1 completion in the first half. He had another completion early in the second half, and then it really started to develop a rhythm. They started to hit on a bunch of big passes throughout the end of the fourth quarter. And you guys saw how it ended. I mean, 2 big touchdown passes, one to Caden McElhaney, and another one, I believe it was Kyle Booth, caught the game winner. So just the adjustments that were made throughout the game were just big.
It was off camera, but McAfee won the battle royale to get the right to call this game. So, no, but we were talking about. I want your perspective on this pooch kick because we talked to Logan about it. Of course, it caught you off guard. It caught the broadcasters off guard. Probably caught everyone in the stadium off guard. What was going through your mind when that happened?
Yeah, I think I was doing a little bit of a score update on games around the area, and I looked up and I just saw the ball. I mean, it hit the ground. Bounced off of a Liberty player's chest. And I mean, we've seen it in the NFL, we've seen it in college. Those, like, if you don't practice those on a consistent basis, like those types of kicks are very hard to catch. They're very hard to corral. And it wasn't really a ball that they could like necessarily just fall on. Like the ball bounced off his chest, bounced maybe 3, 4, 5 yards away from him, and it just right into a Crestview player's hands. He fell on it, and the Rebels recovered.
I'll tell you what.
Just crazy. It was crazy. It was crazy.
We had it on here, and I was not expecting that.
Well, we didn't see it. That's the thing. Like,
I did.
Okay.
I had my iPad, and I'm like,
I remember,
because that's when I went, what happened? Because I didn't, I just wasn't expecting it. I thought you've tied the ball game up after fighting to get back in it, kind of got the momentum, and it really, to me, it was a snowball momentum swing at that point.
Yeah, well, I guess one thing to kind of point out is with Liberty's return team, they have DeJuan Moody and Dion Tutwiler, who we've talked on here. They're the receiving tandem for Liberty on kickoffs. So you don't want to put the ball in their hands. I mean, because either one of them could break one. So Crestview was really deploying short kicks kind of all game long. They were kicking it to like the middle returners right in the middle of the return team for Liberty. And they weren't kicking it deep. And so you see these different types of pooch kicks throughout the game. None of them were really like direct, bouncing squib kicks, I call them, like, up the field. They were more little chip shots into the middle of the return team. And that one was the first like direct kick directly into the ground, bounced off a Liberty player's chest. And I was completely caught off guard, but they stole the momentum there. And as we all know, in high school football, momentum is the biggest thing you can have on your side, and the way the Crestview offense was rolling at that point in the game, it was huge.
As we're talking about kick, I want to talk the last kick that Crestview had, where they had to be backed up to their own 35 because the first kick went out of bounds. But then, this was a booming of a kick. I mean, I think Liberty had to recover it from inside their own 15-yard line before they could even try to run it back. So what a kick there, because if you miss that kick and those guys get the ball at like the 25 or the 30, all of a sudden they have a chance to break one, also get to the midfield, get to 40. But they kick out. I mean, that was a monster kick from a high school kid to get the ball all the way down the field inside Liberty's 15. I think they ran out to like the 20 before that last drive started. But man, when you have a kid that can kick like that, that's going to be a big advantage. Big advantage
He's a freshman
in the playoffs.
Wow.
Yeah,
Freshman.
Crestvew's kicker is a freshman. I can't remember his name off the top of the head. I'd have to pull. Let me see if I can pull the roster real quick, just to
Pull
get
up
it correctly.
That note,
Um,
the Notebook of Destiny from Greg McElroy.
Yeah, I gotta hold on. So number 40, Danny Novak, freshman, number 40, was on it all night long. I think Deion Tutwiler fielded that kicker on the 10-yard line in
Yeah, it
Liberty
was
territory. And
Wait.
he tried to turn the edge, wasn't able to kind of, turn it as much as he could. But I mean, credit to Liberty, they really moved the ball there on that final drive, kind of
They did.
caught up around midfield,
But there's that
completed a
holding
couple
call.
big passes, Tyson Watson. But yeah, I mean, it heck of a game. I mean, I was standing all night long. I was kind of speechless at one point. We knew it was going to be. I had a feeling that it was going to be the game of the night. I think the big thing for me is you have 3 teams in the MVAC grade tier. You have Liberty, you have Crestview, and you have Garfield. To be able to get a big win like this early in conference play, I think is huge for momentum for the Rebels moving forward.
All right, Greg, we have the scoreboard. We're going to go through it one more time, and we want you to stay on and give your thoughts
right.
and maybe some of the scores that you hear that I don't know if you've been able to stay updated or if you're hearing these scores for the first time.
Yep, I've been able to follow along a little bit throughout the night.
All right, so Mike, you want me to start or do you want?
Yeah, you can start this one.
So we'll go battle at 224. Canfield with a big second half, 35-13. They get the win over Poland. Brookfield gets the win over Champion, 41-9. The score there. Perry falls 2 weeks in a row to Chardon this time around, 17-13 the final score. The Hilltoppers get the win over Perry. West Geauga all over Conneaut, 42-0.
And then you have Edgewood shutting out Lutheran West 34-0, and a battle down here. Beaver Local outlasting East Liverpool 21-12. And what a great game. 28-21 Crestview, 14 points late in the fourth quarter to get by the Leopards, and St. John's falls to Crestline 28-21.
We go over into PA as Mohawk falls to Elwood City in a close one, 21-15 the final score there. Garrettsville Garfield all over LeBray on the road, 41-6 final score. Grand Valley controls the game against Wyndham, 68-0. They get the win there over the Bombers. Hubbard still undefeated, 51-7 over Niles to open up the conference play for them.
And how about Camel? The Red Devils get their first win of the season as they double up Lowville tonight. East Palestine remains perfect. They win the rivalry game against Lisbon, 50-34. Orange picking up their first win. Big lead early, and Jefferson, it was just too big of a hole to climb out of. And Mineral Ridge continues to roll on 27-0 over Jackson Milton.
Hey, who had 100 points total in the Matthews Palmachini Valley score on their bingo card? 65-35. Lakers get the win. Newton Falls and Southeast, also a pretty high scoring game, not quite 100.
81.
But 50, good math, right on point. 53-28, Southeast gets the win in that MVAC grade tier matchup. Fitch holds off Riverside 17-14, and Salem gets the win over Canton Central Catholic on the road 49-20.
United goes on the road. They beat Columbiana 27-7, and Girard all over Struthers 48-12. Wellsville falls to Southern at home tonight 41-20, and South Range, they continue to be the team to beat in the NE8 46-0 over Lakeview.
Valley Christian gets the win over Latonia 41-14, the final score in the EOAC. West Branch gets a little bit of a fight from Cheney, but eventually just too much of the Mean Green Machine. 27-6, the Warriors get the win. McDonald wins the Battle of the Blue Devils, 48-20, the final score there. And then Hoban all over Akron rival in Akron East. The final score there, 52-0 Knights.
You want to talk shootouts? Well, this one got there. 97 points, 49-48. Hawken scores on fourth down. Then they go for 2. They run the same exact play. They get it with 10 seconds left. That's your difference, 49-48. Cardinal Mooney falls in overtime to Steubenville. They kicked a field goal, but the Big Red answers with a touchdown. And how about Boardman? They knock Maple Heights out of the ranks of the unbeaten, 36-20. 2 wins in a row for the Spartans. And another shootout. Here's your top scoring game of the night, 101 points between Beaver and Hopewell, with Beaver getting the best of that one.
We go from talking about a lot of offense to a lot of defense. Carrollton gets the win over Howland, 16-10, the final score there. Lakeside falls to Harvey, 61-19. Louisville in Marlington. Louisville gets the win, and it's a big one, 45-7. The Leopards all over the Dukes to fill out our scoreboard.
Any surprises there for you?
I mean, you guys kind of touched on it. 65-35, Pymatuning Valley Matthews. I didn't see that one. Big win for Campbell Memorial. Happy to see them get the win over Lowellville. That's a big one. Hubbard moves to undefeated. Grand Valley coming off of a huge loss to McDonald last week. I knew they were going to be angry. I didn't know it was going to be 68 points angry. Obviously the Battle of 224, we all talked about it leading into this one. I didn't expect to be 35-13 Canfield. I mean, how about this Cardinal teams, guys? I mean, start off the season 4-0. I mean, that's a huge win. That builds some momentum. That team over there is for real. South Range 46-0 over Lakeview. Didn't see that one coming. I knew South Range probably had the win, but I came on here last week. I talked about Crestview Liberty. I get Gerard Garraway next week. And boy, am I excited.
What kind of battle royale did you get to win that one?
Boy, am I excited. I got offered another game, and I said, we got anything else? And Chris goes, I got the Gerard game. And I was like, give me that. 2 undefeated teams.
Oh,
Let's go. Reload the chamber. Put me back out there.
Perfect. Can't beat that.
Yeah.
McAfee, thank you so much for coming on, talking to us in the Scoreboard Show. We will see you on Monday at YSN Live for Overreaction Monday. Can't wait to see you.
I'll have my takes loaded, Anthony.
All right, let's go.
See you, guy.
Greg McAfee, good job, buddy. What a call.
Yeah.
What an addition to YSN. We are so glad to have him on the team first 4 weeks of the season. Week 4 is under wraps, Mike.
Yeah.
Can you believe it? We're at the halfway point once we come back here on Friday.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, unbelievable. Some great games around the Valley tonight. Can't beat it. And I know what we try to do every Friday, we try to be off in time to hit the overtime report for our viewers. So what we need to do is get ready to pitch this right over to them. Dana and Brittany, they got the overtime report coming up.
You're what, 33 of the OT report?
I do believe so. So, yeah.
Keep going, guys. We love it.
We absolutely love it. So we thank you for joining us. Make sure you come back next week, 7 o'clock. We will have the audible call for you, brought to you by the Athletics, and then we'll follow that up with the Joe Dickey Electric Scoreboard Show to wrap things up in week 5. So we hope you enjoyed week 4. We'll see you next week.
YSN thanks you for watching this presentation of your sports network. For stories, stats, and more, go to ysnlive.com.